All you need is a little juju. All you need is a little juju. All you need is a little juju. All you need.
And hello, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Juju Interviews. And I am so excited to bring to y'all a special interview today with Beatrice Dixon, who is the co-founder of the Honey Pot Co., which we stand over here in Juju Land. Y'all know I talked about her in episode 42, Protect Your Neck, on the Juju for the Culture portion. And now she is here. So thank you so much, Beatrice, for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me here. I asked to be here, in fact. I'm grateful.
Thank you. Which is wild to me. I feel like I manifested this and I didn't even think that I was manifesting it, but I was talking about you in a previous episode and about how much I loved you and just your brand and everything. And then I was like, I want to interview her. And then I just said it so passively. And next thing you know, we got connected and I'm interviewing you. I was like, okay, man.
Yeah. My niece Cameron listens to your podcast pretty religiously, and she was like, you should totally go on this show. I was like, okay, we'll sort it out, and she did. So,
and it just happened. So yes, I'm so excited. So let's get into this interview. So what is the Honey Pot Co., just for folks who don't know?
The Honey Pot Co. is a plant-based feminine care. By the way, I'm in the car, just FYI. But I can't move right now because of where we are. It will drop. But the Honey Pot is a plant-based feminine hygiene company where we specialize pretty much in all things that women or humans with vaginas need to take care of themselves.
Okay. And so how did you come up with the concept for the Honey Pot?
Originally, it wasn't like the full concept of what it is now, right? Originally, I had bacterial vaginosis for almost a year, and I just wanted my vagina to like smile at me, you know? Like, I just
who doesn't want that?
My vagina and my vulva to like be happy and like have the right pH. But I had bacterial vaginosis for almost a year, and nothing that I did worked. And my grandmother came to me in a dream, and she, we were basically sitting at a round table, and she basically handed me a piece of paper, and it had a list of ingredients on it. And by the way, my grandmother is dead and has been since my mother was like 8 years old. And she handed me this piece of paper, and she told me to memorize what was on the paper because I needed to make it to basically heal myself. And so she kept repeating that. And then finally she told me to wake up. And she told me, wake up, but don't remember, you gotta remember to write it down. She kept saying that. And so that's what I did. I woke up, I had a book by my bed, I wrote it down.
Wow.
Within the next couple of days, I made it. And I was really fortunate because it worked.
Yes, I say to it working.
Right. And and so really it was really just a concept about washes in the beginning. It wasn't like this full-on washes, wipes, pads, it wasn't all that in the beginning. It was just like I just wanted to create a product for the white space that was based around feminine care. Because there really wasn't a feminine wash, because I had tried all of them and none of them worked for me, right? So there really wasn't anything on the market that was going to solve for what I needed. And so that's how it got started. And then, but the concept was born maybe like 2 or 3 years later, when I noticed that we were doing okay. I mean, I think that year we had made like $30,000 or something like that. But I was like, wow, it's taking people a long time to come back and buy my wash, right? So so then I went and wholesaled with like a white company and a pad company and like a company called Coco Lean that makes like really beautiful baby care products, because I wanted to see and look up Coco Lean, they're fantastic. I wanted to see what I just wanted to see what could happen if I brought in those other products. And it was crazy because we went from like 30,000 to like 250,000,
Wow.
you know? And so that told me that, you know, the humans that with vaginas that were using our product, that they wanted to be able to buy all those things from one place. And that's really how we came up with the full concept based on where we are right now.
I'm curious, was vaginal care something that you wanted to do or saw yourself doing, or was it from that ancestral dream that sort of guided you to doing this particular kind of work?
I knew that I wanted to make money in my sleep, right? Because I had just came out of a business where I had a cleaning business and an organizing business. I was like an artist model. I was working at Whole Foods. So I was doing all of this shit, you know? And so I was doing all this, but being in the service industry, you know, being in the service industry, I only made money when I did a service. So I stopped doing that. I just focused on Whole Foods at the time because that's where I was working at. And then I said, wow, I really want to get into the product business because I was working in Whole Foods. I was passionate about skincare and all that kind of stuff. And I was selling other people's products. So that's really, you know, so in my mind, I wanted to get into the product business, but I didn't know how I was going to do that. You know what I mean? I had no clue. And then all the things happened with my vagina, and then here we are. So everything happens the way that it should.
Yes, it does. Back to your grandmother coming to you in your dream. Was that your first time experiencing dreams like that? Are you someone who ancestors visit regularly in dreams, or was it kind of like, whoa, this is wild, I've never experienced that before?
No, I experience different things. Sometimes I have had ancestors, especially when I first made Santo. You know, I had ancestors come and visit me, and like they told me thank you for like lighting candles for them and that kind of stuff. I had some things happen in my childhood around my health, you know, where I had seen like a black and white spirit. The black spirit wasn't bad; it just showed up on both sides, you know, and you know, so I you know, I may have like. I may know if I'm close to somebody, I'll feel energy. I'll feel if something is coming for them, you know, especially, it sounds terrible to say, but especially if it's like something bad coming from them, coming for them, I'll pick up on that. And it's always weird because normally it always happens. I may not know the specific thing, you know, so I pick up on stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that wasn't necessarily your first time an ancestor coming and being like, okay, baby, do this. Thanks for this. Okay.
That was my first time after making Orisha.
Okay.
You know, but it wasn't my, but it wasn't my first time having a spiritual experience.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I did want to ask about that, and you making Santo. So what was that experience like? Did you go to Cuba? Like, what?
I did.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I got made in Cuba. It was beautiful. It was a lot of things. You know, it was I had never experienced anything like that. You know, I had never been through anything like that, but I did like the whole thing with you know, with shaving my hair off and wearing the white for a year. And you know, I like really did it.
Okay.
So it was an experience. And you know, and my relationship to my saints has very much changed. It looks very different than what it looked like then. Now I feel like then it might have been a little more based in fear and guilt, to be quite honest, whereas now it's based in freedom and love. You know.
Can you say what Santo is, just for people who may not know?
So Santeria, it's an Afro-Cuban religion. Basically, when you know, when slavery began, a lot of the slaves went to the Caribbean before they went anywhere else. Actually, slavery actually lasted longer than what it did in the U.S. But slaves really brought their spirituality with them, and you know, we had our own way of doing things. We had drums. We worshipped the ocean and the river and the sun and the, you know, we worship things that are really God. But Santeria Lukumi is, there's Ifa and there's Santeria Lukumi. You know, it's really focused on all of the elements. When you think about Yemaya and Oshun and Obatala and Oya, it's based on all the elements that we encounter in life, but then it's also based on your ancestors, right? Because that's your direct connection to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Would you say the same thing?
Yeah, I would say the same thing.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
I understand, you know, the elements and recognizing that, like you said, God is within the elements,
Everything.
in the winds, in nature, and honoring that. And then also
Yeah.
to our ancestors is our connection to Earth. The Earth.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
It's energy that never dies, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious. This wasn't one of my questions, but when you said that when you first made Santo, it was sort of based in, I don't know if you said fear or guilt. And I felt similarly. I didn't make Santo, but I received Orishas, my warriors or my guerreros, when I was Lukumi. And I felt very, when it started, I was like, what did I do? Like, I just kind of felt a little, what the hell did I just do? Like, it was fear-based. And I'm curious of what you mean by that when you say that.
I just always felt, when I went to do, like when I did my first hand in Orula, you know, which receiving your warriors, receiving Oromilla, the Oracle of Ifa. You know, when I went to get my reading, even before that, you know, it's you're afraid, your ego comes into play, and it's hard for you to hear from all the elements and the ancestors, the shit that you need to work on, right? So it's hard to get constructive criticism from invisible spirits. Right?
Still to me.
And yeah, I mean, to anybody. And it's and then whomever your priest is, you know, you're dealing with a human element there too, right? Because you're dealing with their ego and their state of mind and how they see the world and what they think is good and bad, right? So there's so many levels and layers that are impacted into a reading and impacted into when you do your ceremonies and, you know, impacted into all of that. Because there's certain conditioning behind certain cultures, right? And, you know, so for me, I was always afraid and felt a level of obligation to do things because I wanted my saints to be proud of me. And when I made Orisha, you know, Oshun, because I'm Oshun with Ogun, every time Oshun would always tell me, be happy, don't worry, everything is going to be okay, stay focused, you know, all these things. And I never fucking got it. I never got it until recently, right? Recently being within the last couple of years. What I was so focused on trying to be the best, trying to do whatever it is that the person that was leading me to do, trying to stay on top of it and being fearful of what would happen if I didn't. And, you know, and so there was so much fear rooted in it. And then I finally like woke up and was like, wow, I don't have to, like, don't make me wrong. I take care of my saints. I feed them. I love them from this place that is like infinite. They are a part of me. It's like the blood. I don't have to think about the blood that runs through my veins. It just runs through there, right? Like I don't have to you know, God willing that it continues to stay this way, I don't have to think about my heart beating because it just beats, right? And I feel like the way that, in my mind, the way that I should celebrate the spirituality or religion or whatever the fucking, is it pronoun or whatever the words are that you want to use to describe whatever it is that you do, it should come from a place of not trying. It should just be, you know. And so and trying is really, and trying, no, excuse me, being is is accepting things for what they are, being comfortable in them, doing things because you want to, not because you're fearful of what's going to happen, you know. I just received inlay and Nabada, like maybe back in December, and the Oba told me, yes, you know, because I travel a lot, I move around a lot. Obviously, I don't bring all my bowls and my saints with me. Right. My elegua comes with me, but
yeah,
you know, but you know, he told me, like, live in freedom, live how you want to live, do what you want to do, because everything that you have ever wanted, you've always gotten. A, and B, things that you don't even need to want are gonna happen for you. So, you know, you don't have to try to do this. You don't have to practice this. It's already in you. Be free, love yourself, be kind to yourself, give back to the world, take care of, you know what I mean? Like, and it helped me to, I had already been moving in that direction, but after that ceremony, I really came into, I really feel like, you know, Ochun told me not to ask her for something because she had already sorted it out. And what that told me is I don't have to ask for shit because it's already sorted already. That's what you know what I mean? So, you know, now I feel liberated in the fact that I have my saints and my ancestors walking with me all the time. Do I, you know, I don't feel like I have to do it out of fear at this point. I feel like I can move, and when they need something, they're gonna let me know, you know, just as they've always done.
Yeah. Whew, that was getting me emotional because I feel like I'm on a similar journey right now. Were you raised in this tradition?
No.
Okay. So were you raised religious at all?
No, my mother never pushed religion on me.
Okay.
I did. I mean, I've done the things. I've gone to church. I've been baptized. I've done all the shit. But I never really aligned with Christianity. I actually don't like gospel music at all. Like, wow. I like loathe it. Like I can't listen to this. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Isn't that weird? It's so weird. But wow. I can't. Because for me, it you know, it just don't feel right. But that's because we're all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? We're just all on different roads, right? I believe that God is in everything. It's not just in Santeria, Lukumi, and it's not just in Christianity. It's not just in Islam. I'm looking at God. I'm looking at a tree right now. I'm looking at grass. I'm looking at rain. I'm drinking water. Like, you know, that's God. All those things are God. So at this point in my life, I believe in everything. I don't just believe in one thing.
Right.
But yeah, I still can't get with it though. You're not gonna catch me in a church, bro. It's like, it's not gonna happen, bro. Like, I'm just not. Oh, that's where. Okay, I'll be. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna catch y'all after.
Yeah, I'll see you when you get back.
Wow, you know how gospel that really shook me. Like, I'm not even Christian, but that's the one thing that I have not and cannot let go of. So that's so interesting. I really don't hear people say that. At least they don't say it out loud. So thank you for saying it out loud.
Yeah, I haven't gravitated to it. You know, like, look, don't make me wrong. I love me some BB and CC Winans, right? But their music it's just music.
Right.
You know, there might be certain things that I can get with, but like, you know, I'm not gonna put on like a Kirk Franklin song or anything. Like, I can't. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. No, and no diss to him, bro. Like
Ain't no diss. It just is what it
yeah, yeah. It's not my
right.
sound, you know?
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the honeypot a little bit. When you got initiated, was the honeypot a thing yet or no?
Yeah, it was. It
Okay.
was. It was a thing. It was like it was in the beginnings of a thing.
Okay.
Because I got initiated in 2012. I did my first hand in Ifa, my awafaka. I did that, and or excuse me, it's kofa for women, right?
Yes, Kofa.
I did my it's awafaka for men. Excuse me. I did my kofa in 2011. I made Orisha in 2012.
Okay. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
how did you see, or if you did, your brand elevate after initiating, or maybe even how have you incorporated spirit into your work if you think that you have?
I think spirit goes into my work because it's just naturally there.
Yeah. Real.
It's in all that I do. I'm made of spirit, right? I'm a spiritual being wrapped in fucking skin. You know what I mean? And it takes elements of spirit. It takes water and coconut oil and rose and lavender and apple cider vinegar. All those things are representations of God because all of those things come from plants, right? So for me, everything that is a part of my business and me, how I eat, how I take a shower every day, everything is spiritual to me.
Yeah.
You know. So and I happen to believe in the I happen to truly believe in, from the bottom of my heart, I happen to believe in my saints, and I happen to believe in my warriors, and I happen to believe in Norman Miller, and it's in everything that I do. So you know what I mean? So yeah. Absolutely.
So I want to talk briefly about, and I don't really want to censor it too much, but I do want to talk about your Target blessing that happened.
Yeah, thank you for. You're the first person
I know I am.
that has said that shit to me, bro. Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for saying that. Oh,
you're welcome.
Yes.
Because I see the blessing, and I mean, I saw your other interviews, and that's what you say it is, and it was. But I want to talk a little bit about it to get to, how you see it as a blessing, because I recognize that a lot of people would not see it and did not see it that way initially. So can you just talk a little bit about what the ad was for with Target?
Yeah, the ad was to celebrate Black History Month and Women's History Month.
And on the ad, you mentioned, I don't want to mess up the line, but that you were doing this so that little Black girls will know. We'll just have someone to look to know that they can.
And to help to create comps for not just little Black girls, but for adult Black women, so that we can keep building businesses and growing businesses and scaling businesses and selling businesses, right? When you go in to raise money, right? Like when I raised money like 2 years ago, and I put comps within because it's the same as like investing in real estate, right? You look at the houses in the neighborhood and what they sold for, right? Like I didn't necessarily. I had a Black comp then, which was Shea Moisture.
What's
to say that a comp is a comparison. So when you're raising capital, you want to show an investor kind of the GPS system that you're linking yourself to, so that you can show them how you want to grow, scale, and sell your business, right? So you want to be able to point to a business that is grown, sold, and scaled. Grown, scaled, and sold, right? There are Black businesses, there are Black women-owned businesses that have grown, scaled, and sold, but there aren't loads of them, right? And there definitely aren't loads of them in the consumer packaged goods space, right? So it's really important for Honeypot to be successful, because we need to be. I want to be a comp for any business that's doing it with me at this time, or if I go first or if they go first. It's really important for us to be successful at making that shit happen, because that's how we're going to be able to get more venture capital dollars released to us, so that we're not in this fucking lacking statement. Like, look at the disparities for Black owned women businesses. Like, that's the energy that keeps getting put out into the world. And for me, that's part of the reason why we don't fucking get enough money, because that's the shit that people talk about. They like put us in this box of like lack and what did somebody just say the other day? Economic, hold on, I want to say it to you because this shit blew my mind.
Okay. Have me some water.
Economic charity or missionary charity.
Mm-hmm.
Black women-owned businesses are not fucking economic charity. We are not missionary charity. We're fucking human beings in business who just happen to have what some person called Black skin. Yeah. Who's to say my skin is fucking Black? Somebody just made that shit up and called it that, and everybody believed it, right? So, you know, for me, it's important to get us. It's important to be a part of the movement, to be the change in the world that I want to live in. So it's important for my business to grow fast, scale fast, you know, one day sell fast, right? So that we don't have to keep having this dumbass conversation
around lack. That's real.
Around lack. Yeah, like we don't need the other made up races of the fucking world to keep Black people have been affected by COVID the most. Oh, I wonder why. Because everybody keeps fucking saying it, right? And we keep believing it, right? I want to be an example of high vibration, man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think this is a good conversation around energy and like what we're putting towards, and how much energy are we going to continue to like put out towards our lack, and how much energy are we going to continue being not enough, around just not having enough, and all of that.
We are enough. We, even though we may not have all the tools, just like our ancestors, they knew how to make pig's feet and goddamn pig's balls takes like a fucking 5-course meal. We know how to pull some shit together and make it so that we can eat, right? All we got to do is keep pulling our resources together, right? Until the shit isn't scraps any fucking more. Right. We don't need all of their systems, right? And even when we do, right, we don't have to necessarily stay there. Real shit. We do not need all of their fucking 15% and all of this bullshit. We just need to be treated like human beings, man. That's all we need. We just need to be treated like we're not different. We're not. We're the same as everybody else. You know? And we built this fucking country, so we're actually abundant as fuck, right?
I'm looking around. It's looking like it's all mine.
Cause baby, it is. All of this shit here was made up, right? I was just talking to somebody. When you look at the top crops, these crops are the most genetically modified crops. They're cotton, tobacco, and corn. When you think back, it's the same fucking crops, bro. It's the same crops that 500, when this country got started, it's the same crop. It still runs supreme. Same crops. Right? We look, y'all, we built this shit, man. We gotta rise up. Sure, my competitors in this business, they probably raised 100 million between them. I've raised 4. And yet here we fucking are, right? And every retailer that matters, right? Haven't raised any money in a year and change. Actually almost 2 years. right? Running like a bootstrap business. Sure, it's hard. We're the #1 natural feminine care product on the fucking market.
Talk your shit.
We don't have to. People told me I was crazy. People told us that we were crazy. People, I used to get caught up in the fact that like my competitors that were white were raising so much more money than I was, and da da da. What I needed to learn from that is it didn't take all of that. I didn't have to fucking raise 40, 30, 40, 50, 60. I didn't have to raise that amount of money to get to where I was going. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't have to give up that much of my company to get there, right? I've given up a lot of it, but that doesn't matter, right? What matters is that my road was the road that it needed to be. Has it been hard? Yes, but it would have been hard if I raised zillions of dollars, right? Just would have had more fucking money doing it. I'm just saying, we don't have to rely on their shit. We don't have to live within these fucking affirmative action vibes. We just don't.
Right. And it doesn't have to be the standard. Like I have to reach.
Nah.
It's not a standard. We're our own standard.
We're our own standard. And we can do anything we put our fucking minds to, as long as we believe it.
Right. Right.
You're the best at something if you want to be.
Right.
We can't keep getting caught up in the shit that's happening with all the police brutalities and racism. Y'all, this country started off racist, bro. I mean, look at how it started. Right. Look at how it started. It's never this. You're never gonna get anything different here. Real shit. Too many ancestors died, bro. Too much blood has been shed. In our religion, we sacrifice certain animals for certain saints, right? Reason why that happens is because there's an energy exchange, right? We know that, right? But it's the same things with humans. Too many Black men and women and children have died for the cause of slavery with that intention. And it was fine. It was like the fucking status quo.
It was on purpose.
For hundreds of years. You're not just gonna break that.
Now listen.
You're not just gonna break that.
I was just talking about everything being spirit and, talking a lot about police brutality and reform. And I'm just like, but the spirit of policing is around our death. You can't reform that spirit. That spirit is dead. It is a moving, active spirit that thrives on our death.
It has been fed.
Yes, I was just saying this. So it's like
it has been fed with too many Black men.
Yes.
The fucking beast is loose, bro. The fucking monster is out here, bro. That doesn't mean that every police officer is bad. But when you think about why the fucking South created a police department, because they were fucking policing slaves.
Right. It's not about an individual person. It's about the energy of the whole.
When you think about the civil rights movement, those police were not out here for fucking peace. That was not what they were doing. When you watch some of those videos, they were fucking out to kill. You understand? When the first little Black girls went to fucking school to integrate the school, one little child, one baby, one Black girl went to an all-white school and they spat on her, and the police were there and they wanted everything to stay the way that it was, and white is right, and blah, 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 blah. Bro, that kind of energy can't just leave. The amount of work that it would take to kill that fucking monster that has been fed zillions of fucking times, bro. Whether it be from mental thoughts or from physical killing people. The kind of work that would have to be done to be able to get to the unconscious shit that people don't even know is in fucking side of them, bro. The kind of work that would have to be done, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I don't even mean to like say it like that, but the work and I'm not a person who even focuses on race because I believe that race was made up, right? I believe that racism was made up because it was. We didn't have to choose that, but we did. The kind of work that would have to happen is like ridiculous, you know? So we can't expect a force that has been around for hundreds of years, whether it's racism or police brutality. You can't expect that shit to stop.
Just because we ask.
Because we've been marching for years, bro. We've been protesting for years. We've been burning shit down for years, and we still having the same conversation. The conversation has to change. We have to lift our vibration and give it nothing. Give it nothing, like no thing, no energy.
Can't feed it.
You have to act like it doesn't even, like that's not even our shit. Like that's your shit, bro. Like that racism, that police brutality, that is your shit. And it sucks because there's going to be so many more sacrifices that have been made, that will be made, right? Because it's a spirit, like you said. It ain't going nowhere. It's eating too much. It's got too much power in it.
It's strong, right?
It's strong as fuck.
Right. Who? See, these are the things I be thinking about and just. So I guess in regards to raising vibration, what does that really look like? Because I know even with wanting to move and not embrace the racism, not embrace the anti-black, not embracing that, it still feels like, aren't things still going to happen around us? Like how do we move beyond?
Maybe. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's it. I'm just I'm trying to. Yes, I'm just trying to go into.
First off, I don't have the answer. But I think, look, just as there is life, there is death. Just as there is happiness, there is sadness. In this moment, somebody is being murdered. In this moment, probably another Black man is dying, or a woman, at the hands of police brutality, right? In this moment, a child is being murdered. In this moment, multiple people are dying because they're ill, whether they have COVID or pneumonia, or, you know, in this moment, there is a child that is being born that is not breathing. This is just a fact of life. We can't control that. You can't control the fear that a person that's in power, that may happen to be a police officer, you can't control his fear. If he is fearful, the reason why he's pulling out his gun to shoot you is because he's scared. He's fearful. I'm sure there's probably other shit in there, right? But you can't control that. Right. We can't focus on the shit that we can't control. But we can focus on getting our health together. We can focus on understanding how to go in. You know, many people may not practice life the way that me and you do, but it's really important that we go inside of ourselves, that we spend time meditating, that we pay attention to the shit that we have control over and what we don't, right? That we understand how to not project and allow and put our shit onto other people, right? We have to get better with how we relate with each other, for how we relate to our loved ones, mainly with how we relate to ourselves. There's so much responsibility in that, you know? And so I think, you know, I think we just have to get real fucking responsible, and we have to really pay attention, and we have to really do the work that it requires for us to live well, be happy, be joyful, be loving, be kind. I could walk out in the street right now and anything could happen to me, and and I do work, I can't control that. You understand what I'm saying? The day that I'm fucking supposed to go, bro, it could be beautiful. I can go in my sleep, or it could be the most awful death ever. But that's just perspective.
Right.
The energy of life and death doesn't really give a fuck. All that's gonna happen is either you're gonna stay or you're gonna go.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason why we perceive things bad or good or terrible is because of how we've been conditioned to conceive them.
Yes, that's very true.
And so I don't have the answer for that. I just know how I raise my vibration. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how everybody should raise theirs. Mm-hmm. All that I can do is be clear enough to give you the tools that I use. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that that's gospel. Right. The shit that I'm saying is just my opinion, you know?
I feel like a lot of how you speak is how is someone, or just a lot of African traditional religions talk about life and death, and it all being a spectrum. Us being able to really work through ourselves to be able to create our own realities and the things that are around us. It is very, like what you are saying is just very, I just feel like very ancestral energy. Like that is really what a lot of these traditions are saying. And we can being able to alleviate our own suffering in our own ways and curating that. So I just want to just say thank you for uplifting that energy. And so just briefly, even going back to the Target thing that a lot of people saw, because there was some negative feedback and there was positive feedback. It was just feedback. And it honestly led to, I can barely find any of the products in the stores. It was before it was out, and now it's even more so. So I feel like a lot of people, that experience sort of got you on a lot of people's radar. It got you on my radar. Like I wasn't super familiar with the brand, and I heard about that and I was like, oh, I love her. I love what this all stands for. And so again, it feels like, what are you putting your energy towards? A lot of people may have seen what happened and been like, oh, this is so bad, I was called racist, but you and all of your interviews have been like, it was a blessing.
Because I know that I'm not racist. Right. I fucking believe in myself. I know who I am. I love myself. I give a fuck about myself. Right. I know what I believe in and what I don't. And the moment that a relationship that I was in taught me this shit. The moment that I am defensive means that I do not fucking trust myself. That is that's what I'm telling myself. The moment that I'm defensive, I am believing what you are saying about me. The moment that I feel like I got to go on the defense or offense, like, bro, like me being responsible to myself, that's telling me exactly, precisely everything that I need to know. It communicates, right? I don't give a fuck about somebody calling me a racist because I'm not one. I don't even believe in race. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't look. Everything happens the way that it fucking will and the way that it should. Everything does, even if it is fucking terrible. Everything happens in order. Everything. And had that not happened, I got a hard stop at 1:55, sister, in 5 minutes.
Oh yes, that's
had that not happened, me and you wouldn't be talking. Honey Pot wouldn't be the most followed feminine care brand online, right? You'd probably be able to buy my products on my website right now, right? You know, millions of people wouldn't know who Honey Pot was. I wouldn't be sitting on at least 5 to 6 podcasts or Zooms or fucking any kind of interview that you can fucking imagine. We wouldn't even be talking. None of these things would have happened. So it took what some might consider to be some terrible shit to happen in order for us to be in this moment. So I'm grateful for anything that I have to go through, whether it be terrible, good, bad, indifferent. I'm grateful for whatever shit I have to eat if it's going to get me to the other side to experience something beautiful. I'm grateful for all of it. I'm grateful for good, bad, ugly, terrible. I'm grateful for everything because that's just life. You just got to keep pushing, you know?
Right.
So, you know, so I don't see most, even if something is bad, it's cool. Because if it's here, that's what was meant to show up. Let's go. Let's just deal with it. What has to happen?
Yes.
You know?
Ooh, what a journey. I'm so grateful for you saying that. I'm on that journey now. I think a lot of people watching are going to be like, whoo, that takes a lot of work to be able to be in yourself and love yourself in that way, to not be defensive. But that's definitely some energy I'm calling into my life, because that is amazing to be able to witness it through you, though, to see it as
thank you. One of my friends told me one time, I don't need to be right.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow. Same. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to be right. I don't need to argue. I want to spend my mother taught me to learn how to die. She taught me to like use my fucking time that I have wisely. Do exactly what you want to do. Live exactly how you want to live. And I don't want to spend my time on no bullshit. I don't want to spend my time arguing. I don't want to spend my time being defensive. I don't want to spend my time doing that. I want to spend my time doing shit I want to do.
Yes.
Right. So
yeah.
So I love you, sugar.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming through and just dropping all the tea that you did for us. Can you let folks know how they can find you or find your products, or if they want to follow you?
Yes, you can find the Honey Pot on thehoneypot.co. If you want to find what retailers we're in, go to our store locator on the website and put in your zip code. If you want to find us on social media, you can go to the Honey Pot Co. Or if you want to find me, you can go to I am B Dixon. B is spelled BeaDixon.
Okay, great. And I will have all that in the show notes for y'all. Thank you so much. Blessings upon you. Enjoy the rest of your day, your week, and all your things.
Thanks, baby.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Confirm no say, and I'll never get played.